Good evening, students. Am I audible to you? Can someone unmute and say whether you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice to hear your voices. So, good evening. Today, in this live session, I hope you have gone through the PDF shared with you through the WhatsApp group. So, throughout this session, what I am planning to do is guide you some short questions, okay, around 10 short questions. We are covering a set of aspects, 10 different aspects, okay. Then I will be taking you through a comprehensive company question where you can score 20 marks at the exam, right? Therefore, please make sure you are with me throughout this 2 to 2.5 hours, and then you need to ask questions if you have any, and also at the same time you can unmute and ask questions, okay. In the meantime, if you have any question, you can drop a message also. I will also join, so you can drop me a message, okay. So give me a minute to join, then I can view your messages also. Okay, so I joined. You can see me as a co-host in my name. If you have any question, you can directly drop me a message, or else you can put it in your chat where everyone can see. So I'm ready to answer to your questions. Okay, my dear students. So I guess those who are joined with me throughout the 5 to 6 month period via JMCV learning, you know me and you know how I teach. And there are, I know, certain people who are joining for this live session. So for those who don't know me, by the name, I am Chandima Prabhath, a graduate from University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, Accountancy Department, having a first class, right? So if you are a A-level student, most of the A-level students dream to enter into Sri Jayawardhanapura University, and especially to the accounting department. So I'm a graduate from that university, right? I'm a graduate from that university in the accounting department. Then at the same time, I'm a chartered accountant, qualified chartered accountant, and also a CMA. Here you can say CMA, and also a member of AAT Sri Lanka. Then I'm pursuing my ICW, that means Chartered UK and ACCA UK. So I have 2 to 3 subjects left to finish that off as well. And at the same time, I'm a certified forensic professional from Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka. So let me briefly tell you my journey within 5 minutes, since I think most of you are A-level students. So guys, I did my O-levels in 2016, 9 years back, and then I started doing AAT like you. So in first stage and in second stage both, I tried to become a prize winner. If you see here, you can see I have mentioned as a prize winner in all three local qualifications, CA, CMA and AAT. I'm a prize winner of all three. So after O level, as I said, I tried to be a prize winner in level 1 and level 2, but I was not able to do that. But in AAT 3, right, the final level which you are going to attempt after this exam, I was able to grab 4 prizes. Do you believe that? I was able to grab 4 prizes, including the first in order of merit prize, management accounting and finance subject prize, then taxation subject prize, and there was an IT subject at that time, and I got the prize for that as well, right? So that journey 1.5 years made me more confident on myself. Then I did my A levels in 2019, exactly 6 years back, right? So fortunately or unfortunately, I was able to become the first in my district and to grab island 27th position. Then, as I said, I entered into the University of Jawaharlal Accountancy Department. There I was the president of our student association as well. So likewise, the journey went through and I got qualified as a chartered accountant at the age of 24. Even before finishes my 24, I was got qualified, and I became qualified in CMA at the age of 22 and was a member of AAT. I completed it at the age of 17 and got the membership last year. So within a short span, I got triple qualified and having academic first class degree. I am here to facilitate you in your upcoming examination, right? Now currently, apart from lecturing for AAT2, this is the only level and only class that I am lecturing for AAT. I am lecturing for CA, Chartered Accountancy, third level and the final level, financial reporting subject. So having that experience teaching to many professionals where those are about to become 1 or 2 subjects away to become chartered accountants. So with that experience, I am here to guide you through this exam as well. So that's my profile. Okay, that's my profile. So I'm inviting you, try to grab the prize at the exam. That will change your thinking pattern. That will make you more confident on yourself. So you will be able to conquer more, right? Clear. Having said that understanding, are you ready to go with me? Are you ready? I need some noise from you. I need some noise from you. Are you ready? Just drop me a message or unmute and speak. Okay, good. Fine. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Now you know your subject is 201 Advanced Financial Accounting and Costing, and this session I am trying to first quickly take you through the paper structure and to discuss set of model and past paper questions, and then finally I will give a time for a Q&A where you can ask questions where I am going to help you, right? Okay, so exam is nearby. Are you ready? Are you ready? I am pointing it to you. Are you ready? So just think whether you are ready or not. It's only 3 weeks left for your exam. Therefore, please make sure that you are ready. And my dear students, this session is totally free. You can share the link with any of your friends, even though they are students of mine or not. No issue. This is a free session for the benefit of you all. Therefore, you can share it in your whatever the groups and ask them to join. I can guarantee that anyone who join this session will gain at least 1 or 2 marks at the exam, right? starting from 1 or 2, you can grab 20 at the exam if you stay from the beginning to end throughout this session. Okay, so your syllabus contains 70% of financial accounting while 30% of costing is there. In financial accounting, company accounting, partnership accounting, accounting standards, incomplete records, non-profit organizations are definitely tested. Then when it comes to costing, I can't say all of these areas will be tested at the exam, but at least 1 or 2, 3 areas will be definitely tested at the exam for sure. I can guarantee that there will be a question for sure. Okay. So the paper structure would be, we have 3 parts, part A, part B and part C, where part A gives you 25 marks. You have 5 MCQs and 5 short answer questions, where I will be teaching you how to gain marks for this. Then part B, you have 5 questions, 10 marks each, which carries 50 marks. Then the final part C, 1 question, which is the company accounting. So I will be taking you through 1 question of company accounting, where I will be helping you to grab this entire 25 marks. So 25 plus 25, within these 2 hours, I will be helping you to collect 50 marks at the exam. Clear? Okay. Fine. Now let's go through with the model questions. So you have 3 hours to write. Okay. So you have 3 hours to write and 15 minutes of reading time. 15 minutes of reading time, right? So, and you can go through these things. I'm not going to take time to discuss that. Okay, let's go through with question number 1 now. A small tip for you. You have a 15 minutes reading time. And all the questions need to be answered without having choices. In your A levels and O levels, I guess, you have choices. You can select what you are going to answer. You can select what you are not going to answer. But here, you have no choice. තේරීමක් නැත. No choice. You have to do all the questions and attempt 100% to get at least 50 to pass the exam, right? Therefore, my dear students, in this 15 minutes time, okay, in this 15 minutes time, you can first try the order. You can write down the order in which priority level I am going to do the exam. In which priority level I am going to do the exam. You can do that. After that, I guess it will be more than enough 5 minutes to do that prioritization. After that, you have the paper with you but not the answer booklet. Therefore, in the paper, you can attempt 1 or 2 of these MCQs, right? So there are some small questions. චූටි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා. ඒ චූටි ප්‍රශ්න වලට අර විනාඩි 15 ඇතුළත උත්තර ලියන්න. In the paper itself. Answer booklet will not be provided at that time, but yet you can write the answer in the paper itself. So you are saving some time. You are saving some time. Are you clear, my dears? So that's how you need to first start writing this paper. Otherwise, you will have some answers to write after getting back home also. එතකොට ඉවරන ගමන් කියන්නේ අයියෝ වෙලා මදි වුණා. විතර ගෙදර ඇවිල්ලා බත් කන ගමන් ලියන්නත් ප්‍රශ්න වලට උත්තර ඉතුරු වෙයි ළමයි. ඉතින් එහෙම කරන්න එපා. ඔක්කොම time manage කරලා කරන්න ඕන, okay? Fine. The following information was extracted from ABC Private Limited on rent of several buildings. Rent paid in advance as at 31st March 2025, as at 31st March 2024. Then rent payable 35,000 and 110,000 is there. During the year ended 31st March 2025, the company paid 900,000 as rent. Based on the above information, rent expense for the year ended 31st March 2025 is, okay, quickly, I will give you 2 minutes, drop me the answer in the chat. Since the paper was shared earlier, I guess you have the paper with you, okay? You have the paper with you, so I believe that you have written down the answer. So please drop a message containing the answer. Board පැත්තට ගන්න පුළුවන්. Guys, so now let's see how we can do this question. I will be teaching you two methods to get the same answer. I will be teaching you two methods to get the same answer. So now let's come to the board and let's see how we can get the answer. Let's see how we can get the answer. So method 1. Method 1, I guess most of the students have done it using this way. You might have prepared the T account like this, which is the rent account. Okay. Rent account. Okay. බලන්න rent account එකක් ගහලා හදපු කට්ටිය. Those who did this question using a rent account, tell me. Rent account එකක් ගහලා හදපු කට්ටිය පොඩ්ඩක් අත උස්සන්න මේක, you can raise your hands, right? Okay. Good. So that is method 1. අපි බලමු method 1 එකෙන් හදලා. Now paid in advance. Rent paid in advance, it's a prepaid expense. Therefore, the opening balance should be on asset side. Therefore, the opening balance is 120. So rent paid in advance 120. So this is the opening balance. Then opening rent payable, how much? Which is a liability on credit side. Opening rent payable, it is 110. And then we need the closing balances. So closing rent payable, how much? On the liability side. Closing rent payable, it is 35,000, which will be carried forward from here. This carried forward, which will be carried down from debit side. So which is 35. Then other way around, the closing rent paid in advance, which is 50,000, which will be carried down from credit side, 50,000. Then during the year, rent paid 900,000. Rent paid 900,000. Credit cash debit to this rent account 900,000. So cash. Now if you tally this account, here you will get 1,055. And from 1,055, if you remove 860, you will get 160, you will get 895, which is the rent expense which is charged to P&L. This is method 1. So 895 is the correct answer. Now if I take you through the method 2, this is how I am going to teach you. How much we have paid? We have paid cash paid 900. Okay. Now what I am going to do is convert this cash basis into accrual basis. Okay. So rent paid, or cash paid on rent. So this is the expense on cash basis. Now I am trying to convert this into rent on accrual basis. Rent on accrual basis. Okay. Now cash basis means we are recognizing an expense based on cash payment, but accrual basis means we are not thinking the cash payment, we are thinking whether it is relating to the period or not. Now that's what we are going to do. That's what we are going to do. Now if you think on like this, opening rent paid in advance. Opening rent paid in advance means we have paid it last year. We have paid it last year, but it is relevant to this year. So within this 900, this 120 is not there. Why? May 900 give me avurudde, make a service give giya avurudde. ගෙව්ව ගිය අවුරුද්ද වුණාට it need to be within this rent expense. Therefore, for this 900, I have to add opening rent advance. Opening rent advance 120. Then what else? Closing rent advance. Closing rent advance 50. That means we have paid 900 this year, but out of this 900, 50 is relating to next year, which is not relating to current year. එහෙනම් මේ 900 ඇතුලේ 50ක් තියෙනවා මේ අවුරුද්දට අදාළ නැති එක මම අයින් කරනවා. So closing rent advance, which is 50. Then opening rent payable. Opening rent payable. Now opening rent payable means which is payable for the prior year. Which is payable for the prior year. That means out of this paid 900, I have paid 110 not for current year but for prior year. That means even though here I have paid 900, 110 is not relevant to this year. Not relevant නම් අපිට current year accrual basis එක ඇතුළට ගන්න බෑ. Therefore, I am removing opening rent payable. Why? It is relating not to current year but to prior year. Then finally, the closing rent payable. We have not paid but relating to the period. Not paid but relating to the period. So add closing rent payable. Add closing rent payable, which is 35. Now if you sum up this one, you will again get 895. You will again get 895. හදලා කියන්න එනවා නේද කියලා. So anyone tried this second method? Second method එකට හදපු කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවද චුට්ට අත උස්සන්න. T account එක ගහන්න නැතුව second method එක try කරපු එක්කෙනෙක්. Very good. So දැන් බලන්න මේ T account එක ගැහුවොත් ඔයාට කොලයක ලියන්නම වෙනවා. හැබැයි මෙන්න මේ rational එක ඔයාට කොලයක ලියන්න නැතුව නිකම්ම calculator එකෙන් ගහලා උත්තරේ ගන්න පුළුවන්. You can do that. Therefore, if you use this method number 2, you can save time. It is just a matter of typing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Okay. तर මේ වගේ ඉලක්කම් සෙට් එකක් type කරන පොඩි matter of fact එකක් තියෙන්නේ. T account එක ගහ ඉන්නවට වඩා. So you can do this question within half the time that you spend for T account. So try these shortcuts not just at AAT but just at A level also. So you can save more time. Right? Okay. So answer is answer 1 895. එහෙනම් ඔන්න මම පොඩි ට්‍රික් එකක් කියලා දුන්නා. shortcut එකක්. මේ shortcut එක ඔයාලා පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕන. Okay, so answer is answer 1. Answer 1. Good. Now let's go for second question. Sunil Limited is a value-added tax registered company. The following information was extracted from the books of the company. So VAT registered company. Books of the company for the quarter ended 31st March 2025. Sales inclusive of VAT 4,130. Purchases supported with tax invoices exclusive of VAT, that means without that, before VAT 1,900. Sales return exclusive of VAT 50. Credit balance of VAT control account as at 1st March 2023 20. Applicable VAT rate is 18%. Based on the above information, calculate the VAT balance as at 31st March 2025. Now, my dear students, when it comes to VAT, we have two types of VAT: output VAT and the input VAT. Output VAT and the input VAT. Clear? So basically, this output VAT will be a result of sales minus sales returns. Okay, this will be a result of sales minus sales returns. Then input VAT will be a result of purchases. Purchases. Clear? Now, when we have output VAT and input VAT both, the closing VAT payable, okay, the closing VAT payable, the closing VAT payable would be output VAT less input VAT. Output VAT less input VAT less any VAT payments. Any VAT payments paid in cash. Any VAT payments. Right? So that's how we need to calculate. Okay, that's how we need to calculate. So make a note of that. एक पढ़ा लिया again. Okay. Now let's calculate the VAT balance as at 31st March 2025. So here also we can do it in two methods. One is we can prepare VAT control account. VAT control account. So credit balance of VAT control account as at 1st March 2023. So credit balance, opening balance, which is 20. Then sales. Now my dear students, what will happen is when a VAT registered supplier, okay. So mama ganna menna mehem podi example leka. Now let's say here we have a VAT registered supplier. When we have a VAT registered supplier or a VAT registered company, okay, a VAT registered company, when this VAT registered company make a sale, okay, make a sale to parties, okay, parties who are VAT registered, ideally this would also be, that would also be companies, right? So we are collecting VAT from these buyers, okay, we are collecting VAT from these buyers. Now for the sales amount we are collecting VAT, which is we identify as output VAT, okay. Now once we collect this output VAT, we have a liability to pay this output VAT, okay, we have a liability to pay this output VAT to Inland Revenue Department. Clear? Then when we are doing purchases from people or else companies, okay, when we are doing purchases from people or companies, we have to pay VAT on these purchases. The VAT amount that we pay when we do purchases is identified as input VAT. Is identified as input VAT. Clear? So this output VAT, that means VAT on sales, will result in a liability. Okay, and this input VAT will result in an asset. Why? We have already paid. We have already paid. Therefore, when we are paying the amount to Inland Revenue Department, we can take this net impact and pay. Net impact, and we can pay to Inland Revenue Department. We can take the net impact and pay to Inland Revenue Department. Clear? That's what we are doing. So now when we have an opening balance and we have got the information in the question, sales inclusive of VAT, which is 4,130. That means this amount is with VAT. So we need to identify how much is the VAT component. So it will result in a liability. Therefore, I would say here the output VAT. Output VAT, we need to take how much? Now we have VAT inclusive amount 4,130. That means this is equal to 118. VAT නැතුව 100යි නම් VAT එක 118යි නම් VAT එක්කලා කීයද 100 plus 18 118. එහෙනම් මේකේ VAT component එක ගන්න divide by 118 multiplied by 18 multiplied by 18. So kiya denne? I got the VAT amount 630. 630. This is the VAT amount. VAT on sales or output VAT. VAT on sales or output VAT. Then input VAT. Input VAT. That means VAT on purchases. VAT on purchases. So how much? Here this is exclusive of VAT. Again VAT නැතුව. VAT නැතුව නම් අපි මෙතන මේ 1900 118ක් බැලුවා නම් හරි ළමයි. මේ තියෙන 100නේ. එහෙනම් 1900 into 18% because the VAT percentage is 18%. I got 342. 342. Then sales return exclusive of VAT. Right. එහෙනම් මේ sales මම liability එකක් විදිහට recognize කරානේ. එතකොට මේකෙන් මේ sales වලින් අපි කරපු sales වලින් 50ක් return වෙලා. Sales වලින් 50ක් return වෙලා exclusive of VAT. හරිද? ඒතර sales වලින් 50ක් return වුණොත් මේ liability අඩු වෙන්න ඕක හේතු වෙනවනේ. It will result in a reduction in the liability. Therefore, here I will take this one in the debit side. Why? To reduce this liability. VAT on sales return. VAT on sales returns. How much? Return value is 50. 50 වලට 18%. 50 වලට 18%. I got 9. I got 9. Okay, that's all. So you can tally this account. You can tally this account. 650. 650. So from this 650, I need to remove how much? 650 less 342 less 9. So I get 299. Carry it down. So the brought forward balance 299. Good. So this is method 1. This is the answer. This is the answer. So you can go with second method. Method number 2. So we have the opening balance, which is a liability. Credit balance එකක් කියලානේ කියන්නේ. So which is a liability 20. Then you can add VAT on sales. That means the output VAT, which is 630. Then you can remove VAT on purchases. VAT on purchases. 342. Then you can remove VAT on sales returns. Why? It will result in a reduction in the liability, 9. Then you can get the closing balance, the same balance you can get 299. 299. Okay. So here the answer is 299. Answer is 299. So you can use either methods. කැමති method එකක් use කරන්න තමන්ට exam එකේදී වෙලාව ඉතුරු වෙන. Okay? So if you have not taken down, please take a screenshot of this. You can drop me a message if you have any doubts. Okay. So let's go with question number 3. Here, X and Y were in a partnership sharing profit or losses in the ratio of 2 to 1 respectively. On 31st March 2025, Z joined to the partnership and new profit and losses sharing ratio among XYZ is 3 to 2 to 1 respectively. Based on the above information, calculate the sacrificing ratio of X and Y. Sacrificing ratio. Now here what has happened is there is a new admission to the partnership, right? There is a new admission to the partnership. When there is a new admission to the partnership, let's say like this, earlier we had X and Y. Okay, මේක නෙමෙයි, මේ විදිහ නෙමෙයි මං කියන්නේ. Earlier we had X and Y, they shared profit like this. Now when Z comes, what will happen? When Z comes, what will happen? They X and Y will have to give a profit portion to Z as well. Okay, X and Y will have to give a profit portion to Z as well. Therefore, what will happen? The profit which X and Y earned will be reduced. Earlier, X and Y earned a higher profit, but it will be reduced when it comes to a new admission of a partner to the partnership, right? Of a partner to the partnership. There's a question. In the first question, do we need to show workings? No, no need to show workings, but if it is not an MCQ, okay, if you have not shown the workings, you won't get any mark. Again, if your final answer is correct, then okay, you will get marks. But let's say due to a mathematical issue, your final answer is incorrect, but what you have done is correct. Your flow is correct. If you have not shown the working, you won't get a single mark. එහින්දා workings පෙන්නන එක තමයි හොඳම. Okay. So when there is a new admission, these X and Y will have to sacrifice a profit share. Okay, sacrifice the profit. Sacrifice the profit. Okay, that means, my dear students, earlier X and Y got, okay, earlier X and Y got a higher salary or else a higher profit. But now, once a new partner is admitted, the profit share they get will be lowered. Okay. So earlier X and Y got a higher profit, but now they are getting a lower profit. Why? They had to give some profit portion to the newcomer. Okay, some profit portion to the newcomer. So when you are calculating the sacrificing ratio, what you have to do is very simple. You have to deduct the lower one from the higher one, the lower profit sharing ratio from the higher profit sharing ratio. Here, the lower one would be the new profit sharing ratio. Why? In this new profit sharing ratio, කියන්නේ අලුත් එක්කෙනා ආවට පස්සේ the new profit sharing ratio for the X and Y, they will get a lower profit share. But Earlier, they got a higher profit share. Therefore, a higher profit share was there in old profit sharing ratio, but in new profit sharing ratio, there is a lower profit share. So what we have to do is very simple. We have to deduct the lower one from the higher one. We have to deduct the lower one from the higher one. Higher one is what? The old profit sharing ratio. Lower one is what? The new profit sharing ratio. So when it comes to applying this theory, we have x, y and z. We have x, y and z. So all profit sharing ratio only between x and y, which is 2 into 1. If you take the total here, 2 plus 1, it is 3. Okay. So the denominator would be 3. Then from that, we need to remove new. How much is the new? 3, 2, 1. So if you take the new denominator, 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6. Now you can see the denominators are not common. Okay. So you can't directly deduct when the denominators are not common. You can't directly deduct when the denominators are not common. So what you have to do? You have to make the denominators common. Okay. Now I am teaching you how to make the denominators common. Okay. So when we are making the denominators common, we can take the common denominator as 6. Okay. We can take the common denominator as 6. So now what we have to do? We can multiply this all profit sharing ratio by 2 to make it's common. So I am multiplying this 2 by 2. 2 into 2, 4. And 1 into 2, it will be 2. Now I have a denominator of 6. For the new profit sharing ratio, nothing to do. Why? The denominator is already 6. It is 3, 2 and 1. Now what you can see, my dears? Now what you can see, what has happened? X, earlier X earned 4 out of 6. Now X is earning only 3 out of 6. That means he has sacrificed 1. He has sacrificed 1. Right? When it comes to Y, earlier Y has earned 2 and then now also Y is earning 2. එහෙනම් කීයක්වත් sacrifice කරලා නැහැ. Okay. Now you can see earlier Z was not there. Now Z is earning 1. That means what has happened? X has sacrificed 1 here. X has sacrificed 1 profit portion and given it to Z. Okay. So the sacrificing ratio would be x1, y0. x1, y0. So earlier X earned 4. Now X is earning only 3. So that means X has sacrificed 1. And by sacrificing that 1, X has given it to Z. Y has not sacrificed anything. Y has not sacrificed anything. So this is the way to calculate sacrificing ratio. So give me a minute. I was removed or else I left the meeting. Let me to rejoin. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask now. Earlier questions I can't see because unfortunately I was left, my personal number was left. So If you have any questions, now you can ask. Okay. Seems yes, you can. Okay. So let's go through with the next section. The following information is extracted from Molan Private Limited. Calculate the earning per day of a worker if he makes 252 units per day. Earnings per day if he makes 252 units per day. Normal working hours per day 8 hours. Basic rate of pay per hour. Standard time allowed to produce 1 unit. Bonus 80% of the time saved at basic rate. Okay. So now what you can see here is this is labor cost. No? Now this labor cost comprises two elements. What are the two elements? We have a basic rate. So we have a basic payment. We have a basic payment. Plus what we have? Basic payment plus we have a bonus element. So this bonus is on time saved. Bonus is on time saved. That means to compute this answer, you need to calculate this basic pay and also you need to calculate the time saved. If not, you can't get the labor cost. Labor cost means the earning. Okay, labor cost means the earning. Clear? So මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් ආවම මේ විදිහට ඔයාලට ලියා ගන්න සිද්ධ වෙනවා. So you need to calculate the basic pay and you need to calculate the bonus. To calculate that bonus, you need to go with the time saved. You need to go with the time saved. Okay. So take 1 or 2 minutes and put the answer until I erase the board. Okay. So let's take the basic payment, the basic pay. So the basic pay would be how much? Normal working hours per day, 8 hours. Then standard time allowed to produce 1 unit is 2.5 minutes. Now let's first take actual working hours. Okay. So first let's take actual working hours. actual hours. How much? 8 hours. Normal working hours 8 hours. Actual working hours 8 hours. Then what would be the standard hours? Okay, standard hours or the time allowed, standard time allowed for 252 units. 252 units. That means within 8 hours the person has produced 252 units. No, 252 units. Therefore, let's take the standard hours. Now 252 units, 252 units per unit, it is 2.5 minutes, and to convert it into hours I will have to deduct it by 60. 252 into 2.5 deducted by 60, it is 10.5 hours. Now this worker is doing what? The worker is doing a work that takes or that allow 10.5 hours within 8 hours. That means time saved how much? Time saved 2.5 hours. So he has saved 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes. So the basic pay would be for actual 8 hours. So 8 hours into 300. So 300 into 8, it is 2400 in rupees. Then for this, I need to add bonus. So the time saved 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours. Out of that, we are giving bonus only on 80% and then multiply it at the basic rate 300. So 2.5 hours into 80% into 300. So I got 600 as the bonus. So the total earning is how much? 3,000. The total earning is 3,000. Okay. Harsha has given the answer correctly. Very good. So the total earning is 3,000. So in this type of a question, we have a combination, right? We have a combination of a basic payment and a bonus. We have a combination of a basic payment and a bonus. Okay. Next question. The following information was extracted from the books of accounts of ABC Limited relating to product A. Annual demand, purchase price per unit, ordering cost per order, annual holding cost per unit is given. Based on the above, calculate the economic order quantity of product A. Okay, බලන්න calculate කළ දාන්න chat එකට. EOQ. Okay, I got an answer. Let's see. Let's see. Here the formula is given. Usually at the exam, this formula will be given. EOQ 2 into D, annual demand. D means here annual demand 32,000 units into CO. CO means cost of ordering. Here cost of ordering per order. Okay, cost of ordering per order 10 rupees. Annual demand into 2 into cost of ordering divided by cost of holding. Okay, here this one CH. Cost of holding per unit throughout 1 year. So it is how much? 10% of the purchase price. That means 20 rupees into 10% means 2 rupees. So divided by 2 and the square root of that. So let's calculate 2 into 32,000 into 10 divided by 2. Square root of the answer 566 units. 566 units. So at the exam they might test this one and most probably this formula will be given. Formula will be given at the exam. Okay. Good. I can see Harsha, Nuha and Mariam has dropped the answers correctly. Very good. Then question number 6 here. The following information is related to material Y of a manufacturing company. Maximum usage, minimum usage, lead time, reorder quantity, and you are asked to calculate the reorder level of material Y. So this is relating to inventory levels. This is relating to inventory levels. Okay. Now if we quickly recap the memory on inventory levels, guys, can you remember what are the available inventory levels? Kiyan balan, drop me a message. What are the available inventory levels? Tell me. What are the available inventory levels? Kawrut kiyanne. So if I draw a diagram like this, where I will take t, that means time, to the x-axis, and to the y-axis if I take the quantity. Okay. So first I am drawing a line like this. I would say this is the minimum stock level. Minimum stock level. Let's say it is whatever. I'm not going to put figures, but let's say this is minimum stock level. And then, okay, we are having another level called reorder level. Reorder level. That means the level at which, okay, level at which we are placing a new order. That means within the store, when we reach this reorder level, we are placing a new order. When we reach this reorder level, we are placing a new order. Okay, that's called reorder level. And then minimum stock level means what? We are never allowing our inventory balance to fall below this minimum stock level. If it falls below this minimum stock level, it might affect our continuous production. Clear? Yes, good. You have given answers. Very good. Okay. And then another level we have, which is the maximum stock level. Maximum stock level. Okay, maximum stock level. That means we are never allowing the inventory to go beyond this maximum stock level. Okay. Now let's see how we are going to calculate. So the reorder level will be calculated. We are thinking if we use it in full capacity, okay, if we use it in full capacity, what will be the usage? That is the maximum usage. Maximum usage. And we are thinking if we work at this maximum capacity and if we assume our supplier take the maximum possible lead time to supply these goods, maximum lead time, what would be the inventory level that we need to keep within our organization? So that is the, so this is the reorder level, maximum usage into maximum lead time. Then now it is very clear, minimum stock level should be something below the reorder level and the maximum stock level should be something beyond the reorder level. Therefore, maximum stock level will start from reorder level, ROL, reorder level. So I am starting from reorder level. Now to this reorder level, once I get the quantity that I ordered, it will increase this, no? So I am adding the reorder quantity. I am adding the reorder quantity. Again, I will order karna quantity. And from this, I am removing two things. I am removing the minimum use, the minimum usage, and multiplying. So minimum use into minimum lead time. Minimum lead time. Here it is most a positive way. It's the most positive way. Okay. Then we are moving to the minimum stock level. What we are doing? Something below the reorder level. So we are starting from reorder level, and from that we are minusing our average usage into average lead time. Average usage into average lead time. So now issue comes, how to get this average usage and the average lead time. So these averages will be taken, okay, maximum plus minimum, the answer divided by 2. That's how we take the averages. Maximum plus minimum divided by 2. Okay. Fine. Now, having this understanding, okay, another stock level is there, which is the average stock level. Average stock level. How to calculate? It's very easy. Same, maximum stock level plus minimum stock level divided by 2. Divided by 2. That means we have reorder level, maximum stock level, minimum stock level, and average stock level. 4. Okay. Now having this understanding, what we need to calculate is the reorder level. Now let's do the reorder level calculation. So reorder level will be equal to maximum usage, which is 400 units, into maximum lead time 8 months. 8 months. So the reorder level would be 3200 units. 3200 units. Okay, this would be 3200 units. Yes, Harsha, Nuha and Mariam has given the answer correctly. Good. If not, take a screenshot. Okay. Now let's go for the next question. The following information was extracted from HCS Limited with reference to job number 4000. Direct raw material 8000 kilograms at 40 rupees per kilogram. Direct labor department 1 300 hours 800 per hour. Direct labor department 2 450 hours at 1200 per hour. Production overhead 75% on total direct labor cost. The company keeps a 20% profit on cost. Calculate the price to be charged on job number 4000. Okay, price to be charged on job number 4000. Okay, fine, good. Now, what we can do is we can try to calculate this answer. So I will do it in the board, it will be easy. So you can try till I erase the board. Okay. So job 4000. Job 4000. So we have to first take direct raw material, cost. We need 8000 kilograms at 40 rupees per kilogram. 40 rupees per kilogram. So 8000 into 40, how much? It is 320,000. In rupees, it is 320,000. Then direct labor cost. Direct labor cost. So two items we have 300 hours into 800 per hour plus 450 hours into 1000 through 200 per hour. 300 into 800 plus 450 into 1200. Here I got 780,000. If someone get a different answer, please tell me. So these two total we identify as what? The prime cost. The total of all direct costs. How much is the prime cost? 1.1 million rupees. For this prime cost, I need to add the production overhead cost, which is 75% on total direct labor cost. So the total direct labor cost I have 780,000. Out of that 75%. So I got 585,000. Now I have what? Now I have the total production cost. Now I have total production cost. How much? How much? 1,685,000. Then the company keeps a 20% profit on cost. So this is the cost. For this I need to keep a profit at 20% on cost. That means making 20% gattana hari. So it is 337,000. So the price. So the price would be 2,022,000. 2,022,000. 2,022,000. Harsha, Nuha and Mariam, you three are giving answers. Please tell me whether the answer you got is same as mine. Any different answers? Harsha, Mariam, Nuha. Okay. Okay. Now let's go with the next question. Question number 8. The following information has been extracted from a manufacturing company for a period of 3 months. Production overhead cost actual and budgeted. Number of machine hours budgeted 25,000, actual 21,500. So the production overhead is overabsorbed, underabsorbed, overabsorbed, underabsorbed. So here this is relating to production overhead cost overabsorption and underabsorption. Okay. Which one, Harsha? Last one. That means 7. So here it's quite easy. So we need to first take the direct raw material cost. Then we need to take the direct labor cost. Here raw material cost straightforward 8,000 kilograms at 40 rupees. Then direct labor cost, we have two types of labor, department 1 and department 2. 300 hours into 800 rupees plus 450 hours into 1200 rupees. Then I got the labor cost. Then that two together we identify as the prime cost. Then for that we need to add production overhead cost, which is 585,000, and then we get the total production cost 1,685,000. Then for that we need to add profit at 20% on cost. So this is the total production cost. ඒකෙන් 20% තමයි profit එක. So the production cost plus profit would be the price. Clear? Okay. So back to this one. So this is relating to production overhead cost, overabsorption and underabsorption. Now let's see what is meant by that. Let's quickly recap our theory and then move on to the computation. Let's have a quick recap of theory and then move on to the question. Okay. So let's see. Now, what is meant by overabsorption and unabsorption? Now, you know, in costing we have two types of costing methods: marginal costing and the what? Absorption costing. So in absorption costing, what we do is we first budget the manufacturing overhead cost over next year, and that budgeted cost is allocated, right? Budgeted cost is allocated. That's what you do using the production overhead cost apportionment and allocation. That's what you do. Okay. So once we allocate and apportion the budgeted production overhead cost, at the end of the year we identify whether we have overabsorbed or underabsorbed. How we can identify that at the end? We have apportioned and allocated and absorbed a budgeted money, but by the end of the year we know the actual overhead cost. අපි ඇත්තම ගාන දන්නවා. ඒ ඇත්තම ගානත් එක්ක සංසන්දනය කරලා බලනවා අපි කොච්චරක් apportion කරලාද, absorb කරලාද. So to get this over or under absorption, we need to compare the actual production overhead cost with absorbed overhead cost, production overhead cost. So how we can calculate the absorbed production overhead cost? We know we have the budgeted production overhead cost. Okay, budgeted production overhead cost, and then we are dividing it using budgeted labor hours, machine hours, material cost or whatever. So budgeted basis. Now you know, when you deduct this budgeted production overhead cost from percentage of costs, labor cost, material cost, whatever. So that is the basis. Clear? That's the basis. So based on that, we are identifying how much we have absorbed. That means here simply saying OAR into actual basis. Now, how we identify over or under absorption? So here, if we have absorbed higher than the actual, this is over absorption. Okay. So if we have absorbed higher, වැඩියෙන් absorb කරලා, if we have absorbed higher, So වැඩියෙන් absorb කරලා නම් අපි මේකට කියනවා over absorption කියලා. අඩුවෙන් absorb කරලා නම් අපි මේකට කියනවා under absorption කියලා. වැඩියෙන් absorb කරලා නම් over absorption, අඩුවෙන් absorb කරලා නම් under absorption. Under absorption. හරි. දැන් ඉතින් අපි ඕක ඔය විදිහට හදලා බලමු. Actual production overhead cost how much? Actual 1.1 million. Then I need to compare it with the absorbed overhead cost නේ. ඒක ගන්න කොහොමද? Absorbed overhead cost එක ගන්න ඕන. Budgeted production overhead cost I have 1.2 million. Divide by the budgeted basis. Here the basis is given as machine hours. So budgeted machine hours 25,000 and actual machine hours 21,500. 21,500. So 1.2 million here divided by 25,000 into 21,500, I got 1,032,000 absorbed. Now you can see we have absorbed lower. That means here we have an under absorption. Here we have an under absorption of 68,000. Under absorption of 68,000. Under absorption of 68,000. So if you have clearly identified this method of calculation, then you will never go wrong. වර්ධින්න විදිහක් නැහැ. Fail වෙන්න අමාරුයි මේ exam. Okay. So the answer is under absorbed by 68,000. Answer is C නේ. Sorry, C නෙමෙයි 2. Under absorbed by 68,000. Okay. හරි board එකේ screenshot එකක් ගහගන්න. හදපු විදිය. Okay. Now let's go for question number 9. Question number 9. Here, XYZ Limited values the inventory using FIFO method. The following information was extracted from the records of the company in relation to inventory. Opening balance, unit price 48, we have 200 units. Purchases, unit price 50 to 300 units. Sales, unit price is not mentioned, that's what you need to find out. And then again purchases we have. Calculate the value of inventory as at 31st January 2025. So my dear students, I will be giving you two methods for this as well. You can think on which method that you are doing at the exam. Method 1 and method 2. Now let's work it out. In the meantime, think first in, first out. Guys, if we are issuing at the price that we first got, okay, that means first we are issuing at the price that we first got. ඉස්සල්ලාම ආපු price එකට ඉස්සල්ලාම දෙනවා. First in, first out. Okay, first in, first out. එහෙමනම් අන්තිමට ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ අන්තිමට ගත්තු price එකෙන් නෙමෙයිද? if we are issuing first at the first price, if it is the case, at the end of the month or at the end of the day, what the left inventory will be at the price that we lastly purchased. Am I right? අන්තිමට ගත්තු price එක නෙමෙයි ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ. So method 1. Method 1. How? Calculate the value of the inventory. So opening balance, we have 48 into 200 units. That means how much? 200 units into 48, 9,600 rupees. Then for this I am adding purchases. We have purchased 300 units at 50. So 15,000. 15,000. Then from this I need to remove the sales. Now when it comes to sales, we have sold 300 units. Now I know I am first issuing at the first price that I purchased, right? Therefore I can issue 200 units out of the 300 sold at 48, and the remaining 100 would be issued at 50. So how much? Here it would be 9,600 and here it would be 5,000. It would be 5,000. Then again we have purchases. 200 units at 49 rupees. 200 units at 49 rupees, 9,800. Now if you get the total, you can get the closing balance. 9,600 plus 15,000 less 9,600 less 5,000 plus 9,800. I got 19,800 as the value of closing inventory. ඒ ගානද ඔයාලටත් ආවේ? 19,800. Now if we go with method 2, first we need to calculate closing balance units. Okay, closing balance units. How we can calculate? එන්න බලන්න ප්‍රශ්නෙට. How we can calculate? At the beginning I had 200 units. Okay, I had 200 units. During the year I purchased how many units? Here, during the year I purchased 500 units. During the year I purchased, or during the month, right? During the month I purchased altogether 500 units. Out of that I sold 300. That means the closing balance unit should be 400 units. 400 units. දැන් මම මොකද්ද කිව්වේ? අන්තිමට ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ අන්තිමට ගත්තු වගේ, right? එහෙනම් the last purchase, we purchased 200 units at 49. එහෙනම් මේ 400 units වලින්, okay, 200 units we have at 49 rupees. So it is 9,800. Then we have again another 200 units. එතකොටනේ 400 වෙන්නේ. balance එන්නේ ඊට කලින් ගත්තු වගේ. දැන් අන්තිමට ගත්තේ 49න්, ඊට කලින් ගත්තේ 50න්. එහෙනම් ඉතුරු ටික ඉතුරු වෙනවා 50න්. 2000 ගුණ කිරීම 50 10000යි. So 19,800. එහෙනම් option දෙකක් තියෙනවා. මුල ඉඳන් අගට හදාගෙන යන්නත් පුළුවන්, අග ඉඳන් මුලට හදලා ගන්නත් පුළුවන්. මෙතනදී first in first out යන්නේ. මෙතනදී අපි first in first out එකේ අනිත් පැත්තට අපි කතා කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? ඉස්සල්ලාම ගත්තුව ඉස්සල්ලාම දෙනවා නම් අන්තිමට ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ අන්තිමට ගත්තු වගේ. So in both methods I got the same answer. So you can use whatever the method that you prefer. Please take it down or take a screenshot. Okay, question. Can you explain it again? How did you take sales 200 and 100? Now, if you see here, I have made a sale of 300 නේ. එතකොට මේ 300 වලින් අපිට දෙන්න වෙන්නේ කොහොමද? දැන් 5 නම් first in first out නේ ඉස්සල්ලාම ආපු වගේ තමයි ඉස්සල්ලාම දෙන්න ඕන. එහෙනම් මේ 300 මුලින්ම තියෙන්නේ කීයක් දෙන්නද? 200ක්. මුලින්ම තියෙනවා 200ක් 48 ගාන ගත්තා. එතකොට 300න් මේ 200 දෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ තව 100ක් මදිනේ. ඒ 100 දෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ ගත්තු වගේ. ඒ ගන්න 50කින්. එහෙමයි 200යි 100යි ගත්තේ. Are you clear now? No, I'm not going to do a stock ledger now. So someone is asking to do this in a stock ledger. No, I'm not going to do. Why? Because for this type of a question, you do not need to prepare a stock ledger. It's utter waste of a time. Okay, it's utter waste of a time. You can drop me a message, Harsha. I will tell you my number. So you can drop me a picture of your answer, so I will guide you where you have gone wrong. So if anyone has a doubt, you can drop me a message through this number so I can guide you. I'm not going to prepare that answer. Anyway, this answer is correct. Why? I computed it using two methods. Therefore, in both the methods I got the same answer. This answer is correct. Okay. So closing balance units 400, value is 19,800. So Harsha can send me a message, so I will help you with that. Why you are get a different answer. Okay. So last question, last MCQ. Let's see. The following information was extracted from the records of Max Private Limited for the month of April 2025. Opening inventory, closing inventory, purchases, gross profit. Sales for the month ended 30th April 2025 was. Okay. So you are required to calculate the sales. You are required to calculate the sales. We'll see. Just give it a try. Give it a try. Okay. Now, this is quite easy, right? So you know how to calculate the gross profit now? We have sales, from that we are removing cost of sales. Cost of sales is calculated how? The opening inventory plus purchases less closing inventory. Less closing inventory. Okay. Then you can get the gross profit. Okay. Now what they have given? They have given sufficient information to calculate how much is the cost of sales. They have given sufficient information to calculate how much is the cost of sales. Let's calculate. Opening inventory we have 170,000. Then purchases we have 910,000. Then the closing inventory we have 240,000. So we have a cost of sale of how much? How much is the cost of sales here? 840,000. 840,000. This is the cost of sales. එහෙනම් මේ cost of sale එකෙන් sales එකෙන් මේ cost of sales 840,000 deduct කරාම තමයි gross profit එක එන්නේ. Okay? So the gross profit is 40% on sales. Now let's say if we consider sales to be 100% here, if we consider sales to be 100%, what they are saying? Gross profit is 40. Gross profit is 40. That means what? If sales is 100, gross profit is 40, that means cost of sale is equal to 60. හරි කතා? Sales 100ක් වුණොත් gross profit එක 40 නම් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම cost of sale 60 වෙන්න ඕන. Now you can calculate the sales easily. How you can get the sales value here? මේ sales value එකනේ ගන්න ඕන. So we have cost of sales which is equivalent to 60. So I am dividing by 60 and sales is 100 multiplying by 100. So 840,000 divided by 60 multiplied by 100. So it is 1.4 million. It is 1.4 million. So you can write the sales figure as 1.4 million. 1.4 million. So yes. Yes, your answer is correct. So it is 1.4 million. It is 1.4 million. Okay. Done. Done. Now we can move on to the company question. Now we can move on to the company question. Let's see. Screen it down. Let's see. The trial balance of Maritime Private Limited as at 31st March 2025 is as follows in rupees thousands. We have stated capital, retained earnings, general reserve, plant and equipment at cost. There we have motor vehicles, machinery, office equipment. Then opening accumulated depreciation here. Opening accumulated depreciation for motor vehicles, machinery, office equipment, all. Then inventory closing balance is given. If the inventory closing balance is given in the trial balance, that means cost of sale is already computed. Here, cost of sale is already computed. Okay. Then we have trade receivables, trade payables, cash in hand and cash at bank, 14% debentures, sales, salaries and wages, office rent, telephone, office maintenance, advertising, sales commission to sales team, debenture interest paid, other finance expenses, income tax expenses paid. The following additional information is also provided. Net realizable value of the inventory as at 31st March 2025 was 950,000. And likewise, I have given you set of adjustments. So let's see the requirement. The requirement is to prepare what? Following for the Maritime Private Limited for the use of management. This is for the internal management purpose. Therefore, we are just using the format what we use for a sole proprietorship and a partnership. No need to go for notes. So statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the year ended 31st March 2025. then the statement of financial position as at 31st March 2025. So that is the requirement. Okay, I will give you 2 minutes. Quickly draw the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income and the statement of financial position. Quickly draw these two. Tag gala liya gaya. So here we can start from sales. Sorry, I will use another different color. So we have sales, then we have cost of sales, then we have gross profit. For this we need to add other income. From the after adding other income, we need to deduct distribution expenses. We need to deduct distribution expenses. Then we need to deduct admin expenses. Admin expenses. Then if there is any other expenses, then we need to deduct other expenses. Then if there is any finance cost, we need to deduct. Then you can get profit before tax. Profit before tax. From that you need to deduct income tax. Then you can get the profit for the year. Then you can get the profit for the year. Then you can get the profit for the year. Okay. So here you have first assets. Then under that assets you have non-current assets. Non-current assets ඇතුලේ property plant and equipment ටික අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් ඉස්සෙල්ලාම PPE ඒ අර්ථය අර තුන අපි කතා කරමු. Then you have current assets. Then you have current assets. Then you have equity and liabilities. Then you have equity and liabilities. Under equity you have stated capital and then the two reserves. And then you have non-current liabilities. And then you have current liabilities. You have current liabilities. Okay. Take 2 minutes and write it down. Take 2 minutes and write it down. Okay. Now let's quickly go through with the adjustments. Let's quickly go through with the adjustments. So adjustment number 1 here. The net realizable value of the inventory as at 31st March 2025 was 950,000. Now this adjustment is a result of LKS2. This adjustment is a result of LKS2 where we are recording, okay, where we are identifying a inventory write-off, okay, where we are identifying the inventory write-off. So when we are identifying this inventory write-off, we need to check with the cost and not net realizable value. We need to check with the cost and net realizable value. So if you see the trial balance, if you see the trial balance, we have the inventory cost. So adjustment number 1, we have the inventory cost as 1050 in the trial balance. But according to the question, the net realizable value is only 950. That means you can see there is a inventory write-off requirement of 100 rupees. So how to pass the double entry for this? If you are passing double entry, we need to debit it to other expenses. We need to debit it to other expenses and credit to the closing inventory balance. Credit to the closing inventory balance. Right? That means what? Even though the closing cost of inventory is 1050, you can recover only 950. 100 rupees cannot be recovered. So let's put it in the sheet here. Let's put it in the sheet here. So how we can put? The under current assets, we can put inventory. We had 1050. From that we removed 100 as inventory write-off. Now we have 950 worth inventory. And under other expenses, now we can put inventory write-off. Inventory write-off 100. Inventory write-off 100. Okay, done. Good. Then we are moving to the second one. On 1st April 2024, the company issued 50,000 14% debentures at 100 rupees each. So 50,000 debentures, එකක් රුපියල් 100 ගානේ. The interest is to be paid biannually. That means the interest will be cash paid twice a year. Okay. So adjustment number 2. Debentures issued on 1st April 2024. Now we are in 31st March 2025. That means for this entire 1 year, we need to give the interest, right? So if we take here 50,000 into 100 rupees divided by 1000, that means how much is the debenture value? Even it is mentioned in the trial balance. If you go and see here, where was the debenture? Here you can see debenture 5,000. Debenture 5,000. The figures are in rupees thousands. එහෙනම් මේකට මොකද කරන්න ඕන? We need to give 14% interest. 14% interest. So how much is the interest? 5,000 into 14%. Calculate කරලා කියන්න බලන්න. 5,000 into 14%, it is 700. So this 700 need to be recorded in the P&L. Why? That is the interest relating to that period. Then out of that, how much interest paid? බලන්න මේක තිබ්බා. Debenture interest paid 350. Out of this, paid 350. That means the remaining 350 is payable. This is payable under current liabilities. Under current liabilities. Are you clear? So 700 goes to P&L finance cost, debentures, and 350 goes to current liabilities. Goes to current liabilities. Okay. Let's go and put here under finance cost we can put debenture interest. Debenture interest 700. Debenture interest 700. Then under current liabilities මම පොඩි ඉඩක් තියන්නම් මුලට ඊට පස්සේ දානවා debenture interest payable 350. Debenture interest payable 350. හරි. හරි. ඊළඟට third one. A motor vehicle at a cost of 3 million met with an accident on 1st January 2024. This motor vehicle was purchased on 1st January 2022 and was completely condemned due to the accident. The insurance company has agreed to pay 80% of the cost of the motor vehicle on 31st March 2025 as the insurance claim. No entries were made in this regard. Okay. Now, this motor vehicle has been completely condemned. When it is completely condemned, we need to remove, we need to derecognize it from our books. Right? We need to derecognize from our books. Now we need to identify how we are going to do that. How we are going to do that. So when we have to derecognize on the date that it met with an accident. So we need to derecognize the motor vehicle on 1st January 2024. So at this date, how much is the cost? 3 million. That means in rupees thousands, it is 3000. And how much is the accumulated depreciation at this date? Kiyak wendadda? 3000 divided by useful lifetime. බලන්න මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ useful lifetimes ඊළඟ එකේ දීලා තියෙනවා 4 years divided by useful lifetime multiplied by up to 1st January 2024. How many years have been completed? If you see the question, in the question they say this was purchased on 1st January 2022. So එහෙනම් 1st January 2022 ඉඳලා 1st January 2024 වෙනකන් අවුරුදු දෙකයි. So 2 years. That means accumulated depreciation is 1500. So the carrying amount is 1500 at this date. Now my dear students, when this is condemned, ideally this entire carrying amount will be a loss for us. This will be a loss for us. But what happens? Insurance claim which is 80% of what? The insurance company has agreed to pay 80% of the cost. 80% of the cost is 3000 වලින් 80% අපිට හම්බ වෙනවා. That means 2400. That means 2400. Now what you can see, අපිට insurance claim එක හම්බුනේ නැත්නම් this entire carrying amount 1500 will be a loss. But now we are getting an insurance claim of 2.4 million. That means we are having a gain from derecognition. Okay, we are having a gain from derecognition. Amounting to 900. Gain from derecognition amounting to 900. this need to be recorded in P&L. So here we need to follow a few steps. We need to remove the cost. We need to remove the accumulated depreciation. We need to record the insurance claim, and then only we can record the derecognition gain, and then only we can record the derecognition gain. කාවින්දි ඒක මම 1000 වලින් බෙදුවේ මේ ගානේ අනිත් information තියෙන්නේ rupees 1000 වලින් නිසා to convert it into thousands. Okay, fine. So we need to record this stuff. So for the moment I will record this insurance claim. මේක තාම හම්බෙලා නැහැනේ. Insurance claim receivable එක I will go and record under current assets, and then the gain from derecognition 900 I will record in the P&L. I will record in the P&L. Okay, so in P&L and other income, gain on derecognition of motor vehicle 900 and other income. Okay, and other income. Then under current assets, insurance claim receivable, insurance claim receivable 2400 ඒක අපිට හම්බෙන්න තියෙනවනේ 2400. Okay, done. So 1 done, 2 done, 3 done. Then next is to calculate the depreciation. So our next task is to calculate the depreciation of motor vehicles. ඔන්න ඕක තමයි චුට්ටක් confuse වෙන්නේ ළමයි. ඕක තමයි චුට්ටක් confuse වෙන්නේ. Okay, now let's go and calculate the motor vehicle depreciation. Number 4, motor vehicle depreciation. So if you go and see here, the cost is, okay, the cost of motor vehicles is 25,000. Out of this 25,000, right, out of this 25,000, 3,000 was there up to 1st January 2024. Okay, up to 1st January 2024. That means it was there for how many months? Sorry, 1st January 2025 වෙන්න ඕනනේ. මම මේක 2024 කියලා දාලා තිබ්බේ. Sorry guys, we have to do a small change here. This should be 1st January 2025. මේක අපි 2025 කරගමු. නැත්නම් වැඩක් නැහැනේ. අපේ financial year එකට කලින් වෙච්ච transaction එකක් වගේනේ මේක. තේරෙනවද? එහෙම වුණොත් මේක prior period error correction එකක් වෙනවා. එච්චර ගැඹුරට යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. So just change the date 1st January 2025. එතකොට figures පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් වෙනවා. Let's revisit the figures. එන්න පොඩ්ඩක් මෙතෙන්ට බලන්න change වෙන ටික. හොඳට board එක බලා ගන්න මොනවාද change වෙන්නේ කියලා. So here accumulated depreciation will be changed. Why? So we are disposing it on 1st January 2025. That means after 3 years. So 2250. Here carrying amount will be 750. So here this would be 1650. 1650. Figures will be changed guys. Okay, figures will be changed. අපි ඒ ටික පොඩ්ඩක් change කරගමු. මෙතනත් balance sheet එකේ P&L එකේ ඒ ටික change කරගන්න ළමයි. Here gain on derecognition should be 1650 due to the change I made. 1650. and here it is correct. Claim receivable එක 2400 ම තමයි. Claim receivable එක 2400 ම තමයි. මේක විතරයි වෙනස් වෙන්නේ 1650 වෙනවා. Okay. Done. හරි. දැන් අපි යමු අතෙන්ට. Depreciation calculate කරන තැනට. So this was there up to 1st January 2025. That means this was there only for 9 months. So for the current year, we can calculate depreciation for this 3000 only for 9 months. But for the remaining 22,000, it was there for the entire year. So we can calculate depreciation for entire year. So how to do that? 22,000 divided by 4, and here this is 3,000 divided by 4 into 12 over 9. Sorry, 9 over 12. 9 over 12. කියා දෙන්න බලන්න. 3,000 divided by 4 divided by 12 into 9. So 562.5, I will take it as 563 for the time being. So this is 5,500. So the motor vehicle depreciation, I got 6,063. I got 6,063. So now we need to show these figures. So the cost figure, opening we had 25,000. Out of that we derecognized here 3,000. So the closing cost would be 22,000. Then we had opening accumulated depreciation in the question. Let's go and see. Screen at the under. Let's go and see. Opening accumulated depreciation. How much? Motor vehicles. 13,125. So we had 13,125. For that I am adding the current period depreciation 6,063, and from that I am removing the accumulated depreciation of the disposed one, which is 2,250. Removal of accumulated depreciation. So here I got 16,938. 38. එහෙනම් මෙන්න මේ figures දෙක අපිට ගිහිල්ලා දාන්න වෙනවා balance sheet එකට. Okay. End screen එකට ආපහු. So under distribution expenses, you can put motor vehicle depreciation. We calculated 6,063. We calculated 6,063. And then here under PPE, we have motor vehicles. Closing cost 22,000. Then closing accumulated depreciation 16,938. Then you can get the carrying amount 22,000 less 16,938. It is 5,062. 5,062. Okay, right. Then what we have? Then we have machine. Machine cost 22,500. Office equipment cost 1,500. හරි. අපි ඒ ටික දාගමු. So machine cost එක 22,500. Let's go and see. Yes, it is cost is 22,500. No changes to that. And then office equipment cost is how much? 1,500. 1,500. Okay, now let's come to the board to get the accumulated depreciation. other depreciation. So we have accumulated depreciation of we need to get the machine and we need to get office equipment. So if we take the opening accumulated depreciation, screen එක දෙන්න. Opening accumulated depreciation, machinery 3000 and office equipment 300. Here, machinery 3000, office equipment 300, and for that I need to add depreciation over cost. එහෙනම් machinery cost එක 22,500 divided by 8, I get 2,813 as the depreciation expense. 2,813 කොහොමද ගත්තේ? Cost divided by useful lifetime 8 years. Okay. Then office equipment cost is 1,500. 1,500 divided by 5, it's again 300. So now you can get the accumulated depreciation here 600, 5,813. Now we can go and record it. Here. So under admin expenses, you can put machine depreciation. You can put machine depreciation 2,813. Office equipment depreciation 600. Office equipment depreciation 600, right? Then accumulated depreciation of machine 5,813, office equipment 600. So the carrying amounts you can take 16,687. So you can get the totals here. I will take only the total of carrying amount for the time being. You can take the total of cost as well. 22,649. 22,649. Okay. Done. That adjustment is also done. Okay. So this is done. Adjustment number 4. Then adjustment number 5, accrued and prepaid expenses. So advertising prepaid and audit fees accrued. Okay, let's go and put prepaid expenses here. Prepaid advertising under current assets. How much it was? In rupees 1,000, it is 8, just 8. And then under current liabilities, accrued audit fee. Accrued audit fee 70. Accrued audit fee 70. Now let's go and put the expense impact here. Advertising expense under distribution expenses. So if you go and see in the trial balance, advertising cash payment, it is 800. So for that 800, so out of that 800, 8 is prepaid. 8 is prepaid. That means 792 is relevant to current year. 792 is relevant to current year. Okay. Then audit fees under admin expenses. Audit fee. Let's go and check whether there is audit fee. So there is no any audit fee. There is no any audit fee in the cash paid figures. So we need to put the entire 70 worth accrued audit fee in the expense. Okay. Done. Done. Fine. Adjustment number 5 done. Then a customer who had a debtor balance of 870 as at 31st March 2025 had become insolvent, and the court confirmed the insolvency on 15th May 2025. That means after the reporting date. After the reporting date, court has confirmed that the customer has gone insolvent. Then the director decided to write off that customer and further decided to provide an allowance of 10% on the balance trade receivables. Okay. So we are writing off a balance, right? We are writing off a balance. So let's go to the working. So trade receivables. Unmute. So trade receivables, here you can see, you can see 2870 we have in the TB, 2870 we have in the TB. Out of that, I am going to write off how much? I am going to write off 870. I am writing off 870. So this is credit to trade receivables. I am removing from trade receivables and debiting to where? Credit to trade receivables, debit to distribution expenses as bad debts or debtor impairment. Okay. හරි. අපි එක දාමු. P&L එකේ hit එක ගියමු. දැන් මෙතන credit කරගත්ත එක okay. P&L hit එක ගියමු under distribution expenses, bad debts. Or else now you can use the new term debtor impairment. Both the terms are correct. So 870 debtor impairment. Okay. Then what is the remaining debtor balance then? The remaining debtor balance is 2000. මෙන්න මේක යනවා current assets වලට. Then from this, what I need to do? From this, I need to deduct, or else I need to provide 10% as the allowance. Okay, so from this, I am removing loss allowance. That means the doubtful debt. Loss allowance 10%, that means 200. So the carrying amount is 1800. Make up under current assets we are showing. Under current assets we are showing. Okay. බලන්න opening loss allowance එකක් තියෙනවද කියලා ළමයි? To identify the P&L figure. Is there any opening loss allowance? Screen එකට දාන්න. චුට්ට බලන් ඉන්න. If there is any loss allowance, opening loss allowance එකක් තියෙනවද? නෑනේ. Opening loss allowance එකක් නැහැ. Therefore, this entire 200 will goes to P&L as well as the doubtful debt. So there is no any opening loss allowance. We are creating, the first time we are creating a loss allowance. Therefore, since we are creating it for the first time, we need to record this in P&L as well. We need to record this in P&L as well. So debit to P&L, credit to, that means debit to expense, credit to loss allowance, or else the doubtful debt provision. Provision for doubtful debts. Okay. So let's do it. Let's do it. Here, doubtful debt. Doubtful debts 200. Doubtful debt 200. So under current assets, we have trade receivables. We have trade receivables. How much? I told you to put 2000. And then from that, I am removing loss allowance. I am removing loss allowance 200. That means 1800 is the carrying amount. 1800 is the carrying amount. Okay, done. Done. Next one. The board of directors decided to transfer an amount of 450 to general reserve from retained earnings at the board meeting held on 20th March 2025, and this has not yet accounted. So from retained earnings I need to transfer to general reserve. So the retained earning balance will be reduced. Okay, so the retained earning balance will be reduced. What will happen? Number 7. So retained earning balance will be reduced by 450. General reserve will be increased by 450. So here this will become a debit to retained earning and credit to general reserve. Credit to general reserve. It's very easy. It's very easy. Okay. ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා office equipment depreciation. Yes. Sorry, මෙතන office equipment depreciation මම 600 කියලා දාලා තියෙනවා. It should be 300. This should be 300. Sorry, I mistakenly put. This should be 300. Yes, thank you. Okay. So now we need to show it here. So we have retained earnings and the general reserve. ඒකේ order එක කොහොම වුණත් අවුලක් නැහැ. Stated capital එකෙන් පස්සේ general reserve දාලා retained earning ලිව්වත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. හරි, අපි බලමු දැනට opening balances කොහොමද තියෙන්නේ කියලා. If you go to the trial balance, in the trial balance we have a general reserve of 3,200 and the opening retained earnings balance is 7,834. එහෙනම් මේකෙන් මම අඩු කරනවා 450. ඒ 450 මම දෙනවා general reserve එකට. ඒ 450 මම දෙනවා general reserve එකට. එච්චරයි තියෙන්නේ. ඔය විදිහට ලියලා පෙන්නනවා නම් හොඳටම ඇති. Okay? Fine. Next one. The income tax liability for the year of assessment 24-25, that means the current year, was computed as 527,000. And this has not yet been accounted for. During the year, company has paid 330,000 as the quarterly income tax installments. Okay, බලමු income tax pay කරපු එක තියෙනවද කියලා. Yes, here income tax paid is given 330,000. Now, so what will happen here? What will happen? If we think on the income tax expenses, so income tax for the year 24-25, we have computed 527. This need to be recorded in the P&L. Then out of that, how much we have paid? We have paid 330. So income tax payable, how much we have? We have an income tax payable of how much? $197. So income tax payable 197. So the income tax expense need to be recorded in P&L. Income tax payable need to be recorded under current liabilities. Under current liabilities. Okay. So let's go and put. So income tax expense here, it is 527. Income tax expense, it is 527. Okay, 527. Then income tax payable under current liabilities, tax payable, how much? 197. 197. Tax payable 197. Okay. Done. So adjustments are done. Now we need to put the remaining figures So මේක shift කර කර figures ටික දාන්න අමාරු නිසා මම figures ටික දාගෙන යන්න. You also can put the figures. So in the trial balance, first I have stated capital. So it is 10,000. I will directly put that 10,000 stated capital. The retained earning considered, general reserve considered, PPE cost and depreciation considered, inventory considered, then trade receivable done, trade payables 1873. Okay. Then cash in hand and cash at bank. Under current assets, cash, I will directly put cash. So 1057. Then 14% debentures. Debenture interest record කරාට අපි ඒක දැම්මේ නැහැ. 14% debentures under non-current liabilities. 5,000. 14% debentures 5,000. Then sales I have 31,520. 31,520. Then cost of sales 15,391. 15,391. Then salaries and wages 1,800. Salary 1,800. Then we have electricity 400. Then rent, office rent I have 600. If I am missing something, please drop a message. Okay, මොකක් හරි miss කරනවා නම් okay, හර්ෂ හදලා තියෙනවා. හරි. Then telephone 900. Office maintenance 250. Advertising we considered. Sales commission distribution expenses are done. Sales commission 1,025. Debenture interest paid considered. Other finance expenses 29. Then income taxes considered. Okay, now we can quickly calculate the gross profit. 31,520 less 15,391. So it is 16,129 I got as the gross profit. For that I need to add the other income. And let's take the distribution expenses total. 6,063, 792, 870, 200, 1,025. So it is 8,950. And admin expenses 2,813 plus 300, 70, 1,800, 400, 600, 900, 250. So I got 7,133. Then inventory write-off විතරයි තියෙන්නේ, other expenses 729. The finance cost. So gross profit 16,129. For that I am adding 1,650 and removing 8,950, removing 7,133, removing 100, removing 729. So PBT I got 867. From that 527 removed for tax. So the profit after tax 340. Now this profit after tax or the profit for the year will be accumulated in retained earnings. So I need to add that. I need to add that 340 to the retained earnings. So my closing retained earnings balance would be 7,834 less 450 plus 340. So 7,724. And my general reserve will be increased to 3,650. So 10,000 plus 3,650 plus 7,724. So here 21,374 total liquidity. Then let's take current liabilities 1,873 plus 350 plus 70 plus 197. Here it is 2,490 plus 5,000 plus 21,374. I got 28,864. Okay. Let's take the current asset total. 950, 2,400 plus 8,800, 1,057. So 6,215 current assets plus non-current assets. So 28,864. So the balance sheet gets tallied at 28,864. So the profit after tax we got 340 and the balance sheet got tallied at 28,864. Okay, my dear students. So with that, the entire discussion is done. Now, if you properly went through the session from the beginning, we systematically discuss the first 10 questions where you will be able to get 25 marks at the exam, and then we move to this company question where it will help you to get another 25, altogether 50. So throughout this 2.5 hour session I take you through 50 marks at the exam. So I believe those who join from the beginning to end has gained something. So clear? Are you clear? So those who are there, please tell me whether is it clear? Any doubts? Okay, good. Good. Okay, guys. So with that, I marks the end of today's session. Thank you very much for joining, right? And here the team has sent you a feedback form. So you can provide your honest feedback, whether you understood or not, and any good or bad, whatever. So thank you very much, and I wish you all the best for your upcoming exam. Do your best, practice time in, attempt 100%, then you will never pass. No one can make you fail. You will never pass. You will always pass. You will never fail. So no one can make you fail. If you practice well, if you practice time in, attempt 100%, then you will definitely pass this exam. So thank you for joining with me. Bye bye for now. Good luck.